Yeah, it does it to me too. It's your Zoom settings because you're a Zoom user. It's probably using your account, not just like logging you in.
Hi, YouTube. Must have been the flesh and liquor.
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube.
Oh, hello, everybody. It's all right. They'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
It's the newest Dutch tool.
I just need a spot where I can start the recording part from. So just like
3, 2, 1.
Flesh and liquor. Sorry.
all of my friends are Richards.
He started it.
Why would you need one when you have a whole bunch?
A satchel of Richards.
If you will.
6-pack, really.
Yeah.
Hello to all you Patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 283 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the #1 live podcast in Canada. We're recording on February the 8th, 2021. Joining me tonight, we have Brian, Gavin, Benny, Ian, Dave, and my name is Andrew. As always, I will be your host.
Dan, we'd love to hear your feedback about the show. Please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Feel free to tell the panel how big of a Richard they are or what they should or shouldn't do with a satchel of Richards. Also, if you have the latest craze through the Netherlands, the Dutch flesh and liquor, please write the show and tell us what you do with it. Show's available on Stitcher and iTunes until we get
Guess is
set.
welcome. Guessing welcome.
Yes,
We need your help. We need your help to support Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. Show you're not a communist and buy a CPP t-shirt for just $19.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com homepage and follow the link on the right.
Way on the right, boys.
All right,
But not
time
alternative
for-
right.
Time for my favorite segment. It's called What Are We Drinking? It's where I ask my co-conspirators what we're drinking. We'll go clockwise on my screen. That means we're starting with Ian. Ian, what are you drinking?
Venezuelan rum and coke tonight.
Because if you can't travel, you may as well drink.
Yeah, I guess it's my little, nod to communism is that at least they produced one thing before communism started that was good, and then, it's not available anymore, of course.
Yeah, that's the last of the commie rum.
Yeah, that's a lot of non-coming rum anyway.
Dave, what are you drinking?
Just some of that reverse osmosis water, trying to stay healthy tonight.
You raid Tim's stash?
Possibly. He won't know.
I'm concerned for you, buddy. Benny, what are you drinking?
Soda Stream Black Cherry with some rum.
Gavin?
Jack and Coke Zero. Consistency.
Yep.
That's right. Why mess with perfection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian?
Just drinking some old style Pilsner, keeping it classic.
All right. I like it.
I think they just
have
made like 5,000 cans back in the day and never sold it, so that's why the can stayed the same. They're just still going through that initial inventory, or like,
you pay the art guy once,
Yeah, I was going
and
to
if
say.
you change it, you got to pay him again. Why?
Yeah.
I am a conservationist.
Well, they might have just found that case in a pile of like a snowbank somewhere. So when the snow melted, they just discover some more and they get to sell it. And
That's referred to as new old stock, I think.
yeah.
Recently discovered.
I have a bevy of beverages in that I am triple fisting because I need to keep up with everyone.
That's very progressive of you.
So much like Dave, I have water. I also have tea. And I have a Christmas tree ale beer because I found more Christmas tree beer in the back of the fridge. That one's for Brian.
How high did you jump when you found it?
What kind of tea is it? Is it like an orange pico, or do you have like a
Earl
fancy?
Grey, I'm sure.
Black. It's black.
Okay, all right. Well, at least you're keeping the pellet consistent.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what kind of tea it is. My wife made it for me. I came into my office and there was tea, and I was like, cool. Maybe tonight's the night I get poisoned. Maybe I get tea. Toss those dice, see what happens.
It's Andrew's drink of choice for Black History Month.
Black tea?
Yeah.
So, I see. Not touching that one on YouTube. do the Patriot Challenge reminder. If you're still on social media, grab the template on the website. Do 5 things to improve your life. Exercise for 45 minutes, of which I was a bad boy and did not do today because I got my 5K time down to 30 minutes.
I rucked today, and my nipples
Nice.
hurt because it was really cold.
That's
Probably put a shirt on, bud.
personal, and also
I
I'm
did,
sorry
but
to
it
hear
was not helping. It was just way too cold today. It was like it was leaving. The heat was leaving faster than I could make it.
I'm gonna give
She
you a
was
little
wee bit chilly today.
give you a little trick, Dave. Put a little
Band-Aids.
Vaseline on them.
Band-Aids over top.
Yeah.
Band-Aids.
Did the
I'm running low on both. Gonna have to go make a trip.
Vaseline, does it help the tassel stay on like an adhesive?
Yeah.
Or?
No,
Well,
well,
use a
lubrication,
clamp for those.
lubrication.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hot wax.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, clamp or hot wax either.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Fair, fair.
Practice a skill for 10 minutes, although I suppose that now counts.
You learned wax melting.
Read a book. Not a whole book, unless you want to. Read for 15 minutes. Drink 2 liters of water. Dave, where are you at on your water since you're still drinking?
I've got my 2 liters for today, but I need a 3rd liter because I expelled a lot on my ruck, so probably should have 3 today.
Good stuff. And complete 1 task to improve your life. And if you're allowed to go on social media, unlike me, you should grab the template and post it and tell your friends about the podcast. And if nothing else, tell them that they can do a challenge on the internet. I hear that's all the rage. We can't help you out with your TikToks, though.
Yeah.
No. We don't dance.
And we don't lick ice cream.
Well, we also don't endorse Tide Pods either, but you know,
TikTok,
I
TikTok, and
don't-
GTFO.
Well, I
Think
do
that's
for
our
doing
target
laundry.
demographic.
They're fine for doing laundry.
Just use regular detergent. Tide Pods are overpriced and not any more effective
Oh,
than regular detergent.
No, I don't use them. I'm just saying if you're going to, it's fine to use them.
Are you sure, Andrew? Because the concentrate of those pods, man, they gotta be good.
Yeah.
Mm,
All
good.
that flavor. Yeah. Jam packed in there.
I guess it's the same idea as like if you just melt the orange juice thing and then, or like you don't put any water in it.
Concentrate.
I don't know, something. If you're been following the Section 74 challenges, we've had Richard and Wade on before. You might want to go to their GoFundMe and go throw Wade some shekels because Ed Burlew is getting involved in more cases. They're about halfway to their goal. They've got $13,000 out of their $22,000. And also, if you want to get involved in any Section 74 challenge, you can email s74process@gmail.com, and their team of skilled professionals will tell you which form to fill out. I joke a little bit because, like, it's Wade and he's a friend, but also Ed Burlew and other legal experts are involved at this point. So if you want to get involved in that, it's probably a good time to do it.
Yeah. And with all the things going on with Ed, man, he's got to be one of the hardest working guys in firearms right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a busy fella. We've also got feedback. So I'm going to get all worn out because I'm going to do a whole pile of feedback here that we got. So first one's from Kevin. It's on Discipline Equals Freedom. Jocko's book. Bland, black and white, heavy pages, odd format. I don't know, but when I first picked up Jocko's book, I thought to myself, this looks and feels exactly like a field manual, which I'm sure is the look they were going for. Maybe I'm mistaken, but listening to you guys critiquing the look of the book, the field manual concept and feel. Okay, I haven't even had one beer yet. The field manual concept and feel seem to have evaded you. The grammar and spell checking also seems to have evaded me. I did not proofread this.
Spell right, I think it's just grammar.
On a side note, to anyone who has young kids or grandchildren, Jocko's book series, The Way of the Warrior Kid, is something I would highly recommend. It conveys strong values and a moral code to live by day to day in such a way that children can easily embrace. With some of the unbelievably twisted logic they're trying to pile on kids as young as the first grade these days, reading Jocko's series with a child is like a sanity refuge. Keep up the good work, guys. From the evil empire of the West, Kevin. And I want to thank Kevin for writing in, and also Ian is here, and Ian can now defend his position on the book.
well, I mean, right off the bat on the cover it says a field manual, so that didn't evade me at all. Actually, I usually start with the cover.
Yeah, and I believe in our critique we did mention like the way that it's laid out with sections, and you can kind of refer to each section individually or read the book as a whole. That being said, I still find it odd formatting, especially when you compare it to other books.
Like
I
I
think that's
found,
all we were getting at, was that it's just an unusual way to lay things out.
yeah, when you're asked to be like me, I mean, you get distracted by the different changes in font, and you pay more attention to the pictures than the actual
Well,
words. And
sometimes
then
the
it becomes a
text is
problem.
going off to the right,
I
and
mean,
sometimes it's going off to the left. I mean,
I always get distracted by the pictures, but that could be the material I'm reading.
Yeah, could be.
I still stand by my comment that it's sort of like a weird slam poetry book gone wrong. Great book. And it looks like now Jocko actually does have a book of poetry coming out. So maybe he heard the show and was inspired.
Hickory dickory dock. I catch two guys with my Glock.
Well, that's where you're going with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think I was gonna say, other than Glock?
Yeah, if you use something else that rhymes, that's assault and very frowned upon.
We don't condone that on this show.
We also have an email from our friend Glenn Tate. It's about Pam Radio. That's PAM.
Is that where
Ian and I
Tyler
had the-
talks about lubricating cases while reloading?
No, but to Tyler's credit, I mean, I am on the Pam train now. So if you want to lube cases, the spray bottle Pam, cheap, easy, works great, no
Really?
complaints. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Swear by it now. Absolutely.
Wow.
Because
The
I
Autis
guess it's kind of like
himself,
the same idea as Hornady One Shot, right? But I mean, I guess it just gets a
Yeah,
little greasier. But
way cheaper.
yeah,
Like
Huh.
way cheaper. Because like a bottle of Pam's like $2.95,
yeah.
and I haven't gone through it yet.
And it smells like butter, so that's even better, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you
Yeah, so,
if
I
you
mean-
can use Crisco as gun lubricant, you can use Pam as case lubricant.
I guess small tangent because of the TISM. Gallon bag, about 200, 250, 223 cases. Spray Pam for a second or two, shake bag vigorously. Spray Pam for a second or two, shake bag vigorously. Proceed with resizing.
Wow.
Like shake and bake.
Yeah,
Wow.
really.
Does it get on the inside though?
Gets inside enough.
Yeah, but like I don't want it to go inside though.
Yeah, but you gotta have the case neck inside lubricated a little bit when you resize anything larger than 223 as well, right?
Right, so that you get the mandrel to resize the case mouth. But I haven't had any issues. It hasn't caused any problems with powder fouling up. It hasn't caused any problems
Yeah,
with
that's what I'm
powder.
worried about.
As far as I can tell, it hasn't contaminated anything. It says it's food safe. The Hornady One Shot also says it's food safe.
I'm
I
more
don't
just like
recommend
worried about
eating
like
it,
clumping
but-
up and stuff like that. Like if
Yeah,
if
it
can always
hasn't been an
left
issue.
over.
You can always
Has
wash your cases out after, Dave.
That is an extra step. I'm already at like 12 steps, trying to like minimize steps here.
Do you want perfection or do you want mediocrity?
I want
you
good
could-
enough to hit.
Well, I mean, we're also talking about a guy who doesn't recommend trimming his 223 because it is too much work and the rifle will feed fine.
Who says that?
Tyler. He also only occasionally has
Yeah.
stoppages.
Yeah.
Anyway, tangents aside, email from Glenn, Pam Radio. Oh, did I mention Ian and I were on Glenn's show recently? Glenn was on our show recently. Ian and I were on Glenn's show on Prepping 2.0. We went and talked to Glenn and Shelby. It was a good time. We talked about Canada.
And differences between the two.
Put a link to the episode in the show notes.
Yeah, probably not going to do that.
I tried.
Actually, I think it just got published, 2 days ago?
Yeah, it just came out. It's there, Prepping 2.0. I don't remember the episode number. Sorry, Glenn. Not that Glenn's probably listening to this, but whatever. I listen to his show. It's fine. There's no animosity there.
This is enough
Anyway.
to send feedback.
Well, he did send us feedback because I will read thinly veiled ad copy, as we all know. So Glenn says, I put out some flashcards to teach preppers the practical, not geeky technical stuff they need to know about ham radio. Too many preppers view ham radio as some complicated hill that's too high to climb. Can confirm.
Yeah, where was this guy a few weeks ago before we signed up for this class?
Ham radio
My
tells them
gosh.
what they need to know in about 45 minutes and includes links to specific vetted radios and accessories that will work. Pam radio is a godsend to preppers trying to check the comms off their long prepping to-do list. The info in Pam radio is 95% applicable to Canadian hams. The 5% concerns U.S. radio regulations. The website is pam-radio.com. Again, pam-radio.com. I bet your viewers would love to hear about Pam Radio because lots of them don't know where to start with their comms preps. Thanks, Glenn. So if you want to get your ham on and go do that, a number of us on the panel are working on our ham licenses and taking the Radio Amateurs Canada winter online Zoom 5 hours a week. Want to scoop my eyeballs out with a fork course.
Yeah.
And
Claude.
Sounds
Well,
awesome.
I read through the Pam Radio material in an afternoon, and yeah, it very condensed.
Well, and the nice thing is too is he offers kind of like free, I guess, intro or snippets of it that you can look at, and if you want to like go from there, you can make your choice. But at least he offers some free samples or some teasers on there at least.
Yeah, so I think if you're looking at doing your ham radio stuff, it's worth something. It doesn't cover Canadian regulation, but the U.S. regulation is also much more complicated than ours is, in my opinion, because their bans are all over the place, and you need different classes of licenses to do and use different bands and do different things. And here, like, as far as I can tell, you basically either need basic or advanced, and advanced let you build big fancy repeaters and things, and basic with honors lets you do everything. Else.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you can always retake the basic exam until you get 80%. Then you get your basic with honors, and you're good to go for life.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some differences in regulation, but like theory is the same. Radios work the same in Canada as they work in the US. So thanks, Glenn, for sending that in, and hopefully we get some people signed up and get their radios. We've got an email from Jason. The subject is reservist Corey Huron. The email reads, tough question. Is Corey Huron a hero? This is the entire email. So for those of you that weren't paying attention recently, Corey Huron is the Canadian Forces reservist who stormed the Prime Minister's cottage. What was that, like 3-4 months ago?
Pretty strong language there.
Yeah, I was gonna say by storming, you mean like he jumped a fence and hid in the bush, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the guy.
It was slightly lower T than the whole thing that happened in the U.S., but it's still, he stormed the fences.
Didn't he like drive his truck through the front fence first or something?
Yeah, he drove through the gate. His truck stopped several meters afterwards. It
I
might
feel
be
like we
several
know
hundred
where he
meters.
was at the time.
I think he forgot to
Um,
take the weapons with him too, didn't he?
He was
Yeah, I
hiding in the
think
bushes.
the gentleman that got into Jean Chrétien's bedroom got a little bit further, didn't he?
Yes, he actually got into the building.
Yeah. So that
But,
was
you know,
more of a storm, wasn't it?
So I don't think he really fits my definition of hero, but it has nothing to do with what he did or his political leanings. It's more of a hero does something heroic above and beyond what a normal person would do, and I don't feel he's done that. So
For
yeah, he
others,
certainly
generally.
didn't succeed in whatever it was he was attempting. So I don't think he
Well,
was a hero.
Unless he was attempting to break
Jump
a
the
gate
fence
with his
and get
truck
arrested.
and hide in a bush.
Yeah.
In which case, flawless execution.
Yeah,
Generally, for me, like the definition of hero is when you're self-sacrificing for the good of others. There's
and he
no, I
hasn't
don't think
accomplished
anybody
anything.
else benefited from this in any kind of way. So I
And,
can't
like,
really
really,
put the
there
hero
has-
stamp on that.
I
I
don't-
mean,
yeah,
I
funny
don't know
or
what you're planning.
bold or brave maybe, but not hero.
Yeah, and I really don't know what you're planning, like the outcome of that. You're really just gonna end up in a
Well,
shitstorm there.
I'm
Well, the good
sure
news
we
only-
can speculate as to what his planned outcome was, and if
But-
he had succeeded, maybe he would have been a hero.
But now he's sitting in prison. He'll have time to read Jocko's field manual on how to make sure you get a proper plan and execute it.
Yeah.
And like clearly, planning was an issue on his part because he didn't really have much of
Yeah.
a plan.
No.
Well, and he certainly didn't have people to rely on, and decentralized
stuff.
command. When you're the only one there,
It's awful central command.
And the good news is, while in prison, he'll also learn to get up on time every morning. When they turn the lights on and open the cells for breakfast. Like he'll get some more discipline that way. Which is good.
although he did nail the keep it simple part because it was just one person and he rammed the gate and then proceeded on foot. It doesn't get much more
I mean,
simple
he
than that.
did tell us that he did show us that the gate is rammable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a
And
half
OPSEC,
ton
I
pickup.
guess,
You
OPSEC
don't
was
think
good.
they've upgraded those since then?
Probably
No.
not. It's Canada.
No. We're still paying off the swing set that Trudeau put in
There's
place. We
probably
don't have
duct
money
tape
for
holding it
gates.
together right now.
It's probably the same fence. They just
Yeah, it's got duct
fixed
tape on it
a
or
little
something.
bit.
Yeah. Get the
Bang it
hammer,
back into
bang the
place.
dents
Just
out.
bend,
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
bend
bend
it a
it
little.
back in place.
Good as
guys.
new.
It's fine.
that's fine.
Good as new.
Yeah.
Speaking of shiny ponies,
Are we?
Andrew, shall we?
Sure.
All right.
I feel like I lost the thread. Shall we what?
Shall we start with talking about shiny pony? He's the first article of the
Oh.
day.
No.
I mean, I feel like we put that one to bed, no?
No, we have to welcome our new Patreons.
Oh, apologies.
But I mean, that's fine. If you want to talk to Art whenever we're allowed out of our houses again and we see him at a shooting match, you can tell Art why you didn't think it was important to recognize his $3 contribution, because I know for a fact it's Art that we shoot with.
It's true.
And I want to thank Art for giving me $3 an episode to talk shit about the government. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Art.
Also, $1.50 episode from Michael. Thank you for that. Now we can talk about shiny ponies.
Who's got the shiny ponies?
Okay, I guess I'm still doing the thing here. Canada to quarantine travelers, suspend flights south. This came out last week? The week before last. The week before
Yeah.
last.
But I thought the border was already shut down.
Well,
Border
I,
has never been shut down.
I
I
sit
know
right underneath the runway at Pearson. Can confirm not shut
Yeah.
down.
I can tell that finances and geography are both hard for liberals, but there's actually flights coming in from the east, west, and north as well, and most of them are carrying these new variants they keep talking about, like from London and stuff, and via South Africa. So I don't understand why preventing people from going down to the Caribbean, other than Epstein's Island for fun, is going to prevent the spread of anything they're actually worried about.
Well, I mean, in theory, couldn't I say go to somewhere sunny via somewhere not sunny that is allowing those flights?
No, you could actually, Gavin, drive across the border to Detroit, hop on an American Airlines flight, and go to the Caribbean anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, or like I could fly to Detroit.
Yeah.
Driving's still difficult for some reason because somehow being safer is verboten, but flying is okay. Just not to somewhere sunny, or at least not somewhere sunny directly.
Yeah, that didn't really prevent much. It's just kind of like squeezing sand in your hand, and the tighter you squeeze, the more sand gets between your fingers. So, and of course, as we know, since day one, they never stopped the 4 flights a day from mainland China, or that's just to Vancouver. But I mean, probably to Canada is probably what?
That's because it's not
10?
sunny there, so it's
Well,
okay.
I
surprised
watch
at the
Flight
south side of
Radar
it.
most days at work, and yeah, every day there are international flights coming from China to Vancouver and Toronto and other places. But I watch the ones that land in Toronto because I watch Toronto all day on Flight Radar.
Yeah, they never stopped, right? So
No, there's been 3, 4, or 5 flights a day from China for the last, what are we on now? 9 months?
Yeah.
So
I
we're
mean,
on
the country
month
that
9 of 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
was the epicenter of the whole thing. Never stopped the flights, but you can't leave. I'm not allowed to drive across the border, so.
No, you're not unless you're having essential business that requires you to travel, and
Even then, they're gonna tell you to fuck off.
well, unless they don't, which it seems super hit or miss whether they do or don't. And now all the politicians are back from their Christmas vacations in the Bahamas, so I guess we're closing travel to the Caribbean.
Yeah,
I don't know where else we're closing travel to. The Caribbean and what, South America?
I think it's Caribbean, wasn't it? Or just Mexico, I think was the other one.
Oh, it's Caribbean and Mexico. And I guess, are we closing?
I guess
travel to
anywhere.
UK now?
Sorry, I missed
I
that
don't
last
know.
part.
The
I don't.
UK. Are we closing the travel to the UK now because of the super virus?
No,
The
it's not
UK
sunny
actually
there.
closed its own borders for a while, and I think they reopened now.
Yeah, we were fine
Hasn't
going
even
there.
been
They
2
just wouldn't
weeks.
let us in. And it's not sunny, so we don't care.
No, I mean, it's an
I
island.
didn't
but
even
it's
know
not like
these
a
things
good
were
island.
existing. Like I heard on the news today that they were like, "Oh, it's confirmed that the Brazilian variant was located in Ontario. I'm like, what? What the hell is the Brazilian variant?
It's where you get the coronas and all of the hair in your pubic area falls out,
You instantly look good in a
including your
bathing suit, apparently.
including your butt crack.
All of a sudden, you look good in a
A lot of
G-string.
people would probably want that one.
I'm gonna say, how much are they charging to get that?
Well, they do the balls.
The
That's
Brazilian
important part.
corona.
Yeah,
That would save
Yeah.
a lot of people headache in Vancouver.
yeah,
Yeah, really free up the Human Rights Tribunal.
yeah.
That's right.
There's a dumpster fire over there that would be all over that.
You know how hard it is to get a back crack and sack right now in Vancouver, I tell you.
No, tell us.
So I guess
Please
each
don't.
country from now on is going to have its own
That
coronavirus.
just sounded like you were talking from experience. I don't know.
Well, maybe it was. I didn't want to admit it, but you know.
Yeah.
The part that I'm particularly irritated by is not the fact that we're fake closing some borders finally, because again, like
Because we haven't ever done it.
My
Yeah.
not very spicy take on this is if this was a serious disease, people would be dying in the streets and the healthcare system would be overwhelmed and everyone you know would be dead.
And there would be no dancing nurses on TikTok.
Clearly not
Tragic.
what's going on. But all of that aside, the part about this that bothers me with the fake closing the holiday destination travel is that the government is saying that you're going to have to quarantine in a hotel of their choice while you
in
wait
their
for test
gulag.
results at your own expense.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost you $2,000. I don't
Yeah.
know what hotel they think that I'm staying at, but 3 days
Well,
in
they're-
a hotel is not going to cost me $2,000.
I mean, for that 2,000, they give you 3 hots and a cot. You don't get to pick what the hots are, apparently. Because any decent hotel at 2 G's a night, you could get some pretty decent room service.
Yeah. Steak every day,
Or at least if you're a liberal, you probably get a Wayfair cabinet or maybe some pizza, so to speak.
Yeah.
No, they're just chickpeas and soy.
I think whoever made up this thing like messed up. Like when you're charging the government, you overcharge them. When you're charging people, you don't charge them that much.
Who do you think they're going to pay for the quarantine? So, they're charging the person the 2 G's. They're going to pay the hotel out of that, which is nothing, and pocket the rest. It's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, so I used to travel for work. That used to be like a thing that I did. And I mean, we didn't stay at bad hotels by any means, but a normal hotel in a major metropolitan center in the places I was working, Toronto, Montreal, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, 200 and change a night for a nice hotel.
Yeah, I have been to
Well,
some baller
pretty-
hotels
Pretty baller, yeah, for $200
all
a
over
night.
all over the world,
Sounds expensive.
and I have never ever paid more than $300 a night for a room.
Well,
And
spoiler
you-
alert for you. Yeah, the hotel chain that they're actually housing these people in it.
Marty?
No.
Zone.
Do you see the
So
black
there's probably some
helicopters?
kickbacks and some money getting
Dropping out there, buddy.
Prime Minister friendly to China. Yeah.
Keep getting little blurbs.
Yeah, Zuckerberg stepped in there, Ian, and blocked you while you said all of that.
Oh. Oh, geez. Okay, here we go again. You still hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Did
yeah,
you
the
see any little black helicopters? Are they coming to get you, or what was that about?
well, it's dark out. So, interesting enough, the Chinese hotel chain, the hotel chain is Chinese owned. So the money is obviously going to get sent back overseas, or they'll kick back to Trudeau, I'm sure, because it's amazing how they pick the same hotel chain in every city to house these people in at that kind of cost, and it's not a high-end hotel chain.
Owned by SNC Lavalin.
Surprisingly, no.
No, but we'll get to them.
Got to be a subsidiary.
But yeah, the crazy thing about all this as well is there was the one guy that got a quick COVID test, I guess, in one of the Carolinas, I believe, with a negative result, landed in Toronto. They did not accept this negative result, forced him to stay in the hotel while they waited for the results of their own test, which also came back negative. So that is 2 negative corona tests, right? 2. There's no such thing as a false negative, but there are false positives. So 2, this guy does not have the coronas.
Lightning strikes twice in the same place.
They have threatened him with $1 million fine and 3 years in prison if he does not continue to quarantine for the remainder of the 2 weeks at home.
I would say that's unlawful confinement.
2 negative tests. He still has to quarantine. That is clearly proof that this is not about any sort of science whatsoever.
What's the logic behind that? Why are they enforcing a 2-week quarantine after 2 negative tests?
How can you possibly justify
The
that?
same logic they apply
Yeah.
after forcing you to get a negative test while you get on the plane and then fly here.
I can understand. I'm not saying I agree with it. I can understand the not accepting a test from somewhere else, right?
Then
'Cause,
why
like,
bother imply? Why even bring that up? Why not just get the negative test when you land?
well,
Because
that's what they're
the risk-
forcing everyone to do that. So, like, this guy decided, like, I'm going to take one of my own free will before I leave, so that when
No,
I
you're
land,
required. I'm pretty sure the current ruling is you are required to get a negative test within 2 days before your flight. After
they
and
keep
then when you
changing it.
arrive, you have to get
I know
it
that's
again.
the rule domestically because we have people that travel for business and it's 72 hours before your flight. But I don't know what it is when it's not domestic because I don't deal with
And
that.
the
So I
rules
heard-
are made up and don't make
Well, that's
any
implied,
sense.
Gavin. But I'm pretty sure I remember people talking about how, excuse me, Canadians abroad would be how they would be affected with this.
I think
this
they were
issue.
talking about trying to do that, but I mean, there are some places that wouldn't be possible. So, like, I don't think that, like, making that a regulation is not fair because, like, certain countries may not be able to do that, and you might be there for a legitimate reason. So then you're breaking a rule, even though you can't possibly abide by it.
Yeah.
So, like,
But
I get
then
the
forcing
like, I-
people when they land to stay in a hotel and charging them $2,000 a day.
Oh,
is
that's
okay.
what I'm saying. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. But, like, I get the not accepting a test that's done in a foreign country. That part, like, I think the whole thing is dumb and shouldn't round. But at least I can understand the reason behind that and making you take one here. I mean, I would be doing that if we were going to allow people in from certain places to be like that, not Canadian citizens, mind you, because citizens have rights, visitors don't. But if you come from China and you want to come here, even on business, getting you to stay in a hotel forcibly and take a test is fine because, you know, you have a choice to be here or not. Makes sense. And I wouldn't trust like some crazy other country's medical system to be honest or not.
Yeah.
I would trust ours slightly more than theirs. But yeah, the whole thing is stupid. You have 2 negative tests and you still have to quarantine. This is not about science, people. Wake up.
Mm-hmm.
But is there like any kind of enforcement for that? So if you came here and you were like 2 G's, how much is the ticket?
They throw you
I
in
don't-
jail.
No,
Yeah,
ticket's
it's gonna throw you in jail.
$750, which is cheaper than the $2
$750.
grand.
Yeah.
No,
I don't
but
think I
there.
have that in my show notes here, but yes, there was an article that came out today that somebody in Toronto they just took their fine, and it was $750 for the fine in Toronto for not.
Can I ask you this
quarantining.
question though? Like, if you landed here and then you were like, yeah, okay, I'll quarantine, and then you just went in to Canada, did your thing, and decided to leave, are they going to be like, let me see your receipt for your 14-day stay in a hotel?
No, because it's not the airport's responsibility to do anything to do with that. It's
So
No,
basically.
but if they
is there
see-
like Corona police at the airport making sure these people do this?
But if
Yeah,
they see that your
pretty
return
much.
flight is less than 15 days, then you'll get.
I
They'll
don't-
get. I'm pretty sure I heard a story someone got
No.
in trouble for that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't really care because that's silly.
But it's dumb. The whole thing is dumb.
Yeah, but if
Doesn't
there's
make
no,
any sense.
if it's just like a suggestion when you get here,
Well, it's not a
Like,
suggestion.
yeah, don't
there
worry,
is-
I'll do it, and then you just leave.
The problem is the way that it's all done and said, and the way that it's enforced. Like it isn't a suggestion; it is a bylaw, so it is law.
Yeah, but how are they
Right.
going to enforce it?
Well, the same way they enforce anything. If they catch you, they enforce it.
Yeah, I mean, but okay, so let somebody lands in Pearson International and they slip into the GTA. They're gonna find that person?
Yeah.
No, they're
I'm
not.
sure if they
How are they gonna
wanted
find that
to,
person?
I'm sure if they wanted,
They're not
to,
even letting them
fine.
leave the airport. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, not
Without
without.
quarantining first?
Yeah,
They are-
That's my
they are
question. It's
ba-
like,
they-
so somebody will follow you over to a hotel and make sure that you
I
check
don't
in.
think it's that they follow you. I think it's that they probably force you to go in one direction, and that is straight to the hotel, and they probably bus you there or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd be shocked. see that happen.
I don't know anyone who has not traveled for work on an essential travel thing,
Yeah.
so I can't speak to it.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of uncorroborated stories on the internet about people being banned and
Yeah.
people being locked in hotels, but it's also on like not trustworthy sites. Not that I think the CBC is trustworthy, but I mean like also randomblogcanada.net doesn't strike me as a particularly trusty source of journalism either.
Yeah. Well, I guess one solution to this, we have another friend of ours, another Ian, that's down in Texas right now. So maybe once he returns and has to go through this nonsense, we'll get him on the show and he can tell you from his own experience the ridiculousness that is traveling during this fake pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. The Prime Minister and Blair both came out with statements to the same effect, though, that we shouldn't be traveling or going to vacation.
But they can.
Well, a bunch of government apparatchiks did. But also, they've contracted with a company called Environics Analytics, which I can't find a lot of information about. And I'm really curious who owns them.
SNC-11.
Well,
FISA.
they're a Toronto company, right?
You know, it could be Trudeau's mother. I hear she's very financially independent.
Well, you know, when you get paid off to not talk about all the celebrities you've banged over the years.
Maybe none of their senior leadership team looks to be particularly memorable or interesting people, so I'm not really sure who's actually running this company, because they're not like the quick Google doesn't say like, oh, this person is married to a Liberal cabinet minister, or this person is the cousin of an MP, or like,
so no noticeable blue hairs.
Right. Like, they don't strike me as a particularly exciting organization. But for some reason, they've been able to determine from some set of data that they have that Canadians are spending time away from home, and they can narrow it down to the number of days in a given period. And it's very dystopian that a private tech company in Toronto can figure that out and is contracted by the government to provide them with these stats.
Yeah, who gave them the info?
Probably looking at your cell phone data.
Cell phone data,
pretty
Facebook
much.
posts.
So they should have no trouble telling us where Trudeau went during the Christmas vacation, because they were kind of sketchy about where he went on that one. And even if he went to Harrington Lake,
they didn't say mum about it in the news.
Well, even if it was Harrington Lake, that's too far. Should be.
Yeah, you know he went somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to.
He wasn't photographed for like a week straight. That's like unheard of for him.
Isn't that man traveling?
Well, that's a good point, but I'd rather dig into this piece from this analytics company, because the information piqued my interest. So they're saying 1.2 million Canadians spent at least one night away from home between December 23 and December the 30th, which was up from over the week before by 20%. They're also saying that it's predominantly young people living in urban areas and Canadians from wealthy, predominantly white areas that have increased their overnight travel around the holidays.
That's that damn white privilege.
Really?
Fucking white privilege.
They're also saying that seniors are helping drive the surge in COVID because travel rates among seniors were already much higher compared to everybody else.
Yeah, because who has the time to travel except for retired people?
Well, and that was kind of like, but aren't all the nursing homes all closed? So like it's the 65 to 70 demographic, or the 57 to 70 demographic?
That only accounts for the invalids. That doesn't account for the people who actually have their faculties and can move around and are probably otherwise still healthy. That's why they can go on cruises and go on vacation.
It seems very odd to me.
How do they know
they're reporting that there's a 58% decrease in travel, but they know it's young urban people, rich white people, and retirees that are the people that are doing all the traveling. It's like,
this could just be the health minister making up stats to cover their butt. I don't know.
It's
you heard it here
specific.
First.
It's awfully specific.
That's how you know it's the truth, Dave.
We've lost Ian, so press F for Ian in the chat. We assume that the helicopters will get him shortly.
Yeah.
He was way too close on the mark on that last one.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Might need to mount a rescue effort.
We're pretty far out here in Ontario. It might take us a little while to get out there.
It's okay. We know somebody.
Yeah. It's all right. The highways are pretty empty with everyone staying home, so we'll get there in like.
It just gets us to the border of Saskatchewan.
It's okay.
After that,
our white
everything's
privilege will
normal.
get us there really fast. Because we can travel, apparently.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never anything stopped me. It's weird.
I know. It's clean right across Canada in record time.
Sorry, I just read
Should
Bane
we go talk about
Ironhand's
Quebec?
comment.
He's got a couple of spicy ones, along with the Albertan and a few others today. Keep up
Yeah,
the good work,
I
gents.
appreciate the YouTube chat. It's lively tonight.
Yeah, very spicy.
So you remember earlier I said I wasn't sure about like not so legitimate journalistic sources?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got one from True North News.
It happens.
Well,
Let's remind everyone that we're an entertainment show, so it's okay for us to use less than reliable resources.
This is not even real alcohol, folks. It's prop beer.
so it really comes from Blacklock Reporter, which I
Sorry, who?
refuse to pay for a membership to. But also, there's basically no coverage of this other than that it happened. No other sources are really.
Andrew, you're crushing, buddy.
Yeah, I'm really.
Apparently,
funny
you're
tonight.
killing.
You're hilarious.
I'm waiting for the punchline here. I must be missing it.
I don't know, man. That was.
All right, try again.
Totally derailed. Anyway, the federal government is awarding SNC Lavalin a $150 million contract for a COVID-19 response.
I told you,
So
fucking SNC.
What do they have to do with
Goddamn
COVID
time.
response?
Well, it's a great question.
Is it saving more jobs in Quebec? If so, let's give them money.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we're fucked then. Spend it.
Make it
Gotta save those
rain.
jobs. Yeah, gotta save those jobs.
From all I can figure out, SNC Lavalin is providing 2 mobile health units to Ontario in May of 2021. I
Why
don't know
May?
what that means. I
Why
don't know what a
May?
mobile health unit is. I
How
don't
are
know
they
why it's
able
in
to do
May.
that?
I don't know why we're getting 2 of them. I can't figure, because all of the information about this from the federal government is completely useless paperwork to me as a non-government person that can't like read the details of the
right.
contract and figure out what they're actually doing.
To all of the government people watching us and listening right now, I've got a proposal for you. I will furnish one of those response vehicles for half the price.
So I'll
Certified
give you
first
4 for that
responder.
price.
It's certified first responder right here. I've already got the lights in my car. So let's do this.
Yeah.
Be back at CanadianPatriotPodcast.com.
I cannot figure out what these mobile health units are from the paperwork that I've seen.
Doesn't make any sense to me either.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Are they expecting like a big increase of COVID in the spring or something? And they're like,
No, because the coronas
Who
disappears
knows?
when it gets warm. It's only when it's cold out that it's deadly.
I thought
but
they
the
said
Earth-
it was going to go away when it was hot in the summer, and then they told me it was going to go away when it was cold in the winter. And I
Here
don't
we
know,
are in
man.
lockdown in the middle of winter in the coldest days we've had all year. Yeah. Weird. It's almost like none of this makes any sense.
And again, it's that weird time where I agree with the NDP now, because Charlie Angus is calling the Liberals out on this, saying that this contract is highly questionable. Now, of course, he's not doing anything about it, but he's just in
Yeah.
the House is saying the contract is questionable.
Angry Angus is awesome. Like,
Right. And like,
yeah.
once in a while, I have to agree with the NDP.
I do like when he gets up there and like he's really fired up because like he makes some great sound bites when he's all just like on a roll, right?
Yeah.
Well, and he was kind of on a roll about the SNC Lavalin thing, and it was entertaining to see him complaining. I think it was in finance committee maybe
Yeah.
where he was bitching about this.
They're probably gunning for another 10 sick days, so they gotta like rattle the saber a little bit, right?
How many 6 days is that going to be now? Like 30?
All of them.
Yeah, 365.
You get all of the sick
You
days.
laugh. My buddy that's in corrections got like 45 or some ridiculous thing.
What? Oh my God.
I'm not even joking you, buddy.
That's insane. So like you're getting more sick days than vacation days.
Like when he doesn't feel like going in, sick day. Sick day. I don't feel like going in today, sick day.
Well, you need those mental health days.
Where does he work? Are they hiring?
Corrections.
So
a
probably
jail in the
yes, but
GTA.
you're also overeducated.
Yeah.
You overestimate me, Gandrew.
All right, let's do
Corrections
another
is
one
not
here.
a job I want to do.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I mean, so many times when wiping the poop off of a wall seems appealing.
That and like they give you a nightstick and then you can't use it. Come on. What kind of nonsense is that?
What's
They
the point in
tried
having it if
giving
you
a day
can't check
stick.
a guy when he's lipping off?
Yeah.
Push him up against the wall real quick.
Yeah, that's frowned upon. Unless you're one prisoner doing it to another one, then it's probably encouraged. But not in the way that you think.
Ooh.
And make sure the Epstein cameras are turned on first. I mean off.
I mean,
Yeah.
All right. Global news. We'll go back to Ontario. This is a bit of an older one, but we hadn't covered it, and it's worthwhile because it's an ongoing thing. Ontario MPP kicked out of the Conservative caucus after a letter claims lockdowns are deadlier than COVID. We didn't really get a chance to touch on this. Was Roman Barber, who is the MPP for North Toronto York Centre riding. So he got kicked out of Ford's caucus in the middle of January for writing an open letter saying that they need to basically reopen the province and the lockdown is killing more people than the actual diseases.
How dare he
It's
speak the truth?
two-pager.
How dare he?
So he called on the Ford government to stop doing the lockdown and get things back to normal and was promptly booted out of caucus.
Why are you so afraid for somebody to have a difference of opinion?
This is the thing that pisses me off
not
about
towing the party line, man.
like you get somebody that doesn't go away on vacation but speaks out against the thing and they get completely kicked out of the party and everything else. You get somebody that makes up bullshit and pre-records things and everything and goes away and lies about it, and like, yeah, they lose their like, special privileges, but they don't get booted out of the party.
yeah, they'll stick their neck out for those.
So
people.
as long as you say the party line, you don't have to follow it. But the minute that you don't say the party line, you get kicked out. Like, remember when Ford was our guy?
Briefly.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
Like his first 3 weeks, he was crossing things off that list. And then it was just like, after that, nah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
Well,
he's
I
turned
have a-
out just to be the same as the rest of them.
Yeah.
They can talk a good
I
game,
thought
they
that
don't really
Roman
talk
Barber
good
was
game.
doing some pretty good stuff as an MPP.
Yeah.
And I like that
That-
he's going to stay on, and he's now I guess he's forced to act as an independent because he's not part of the caucus anymore.
Yeah. And I hope he keeps running and keeps winning because this is a guy that's actually standing up for the people.
Well,
Yeah, I
and
wonder about that.
Ford being a little bit two-faced about this, saying that there's no room for political ideology in our fight against COVID-19. And it's like, well,
The whole thing's
Is-
political. Get
isn't
over
that
it.
what you're doing? Isn't that the
Yeah.
right, Benny?
Yeah, no, but knowing the community that I'm pretty sure the community that this guy is an MPP in, anyone with the conservative name has people aren't going to necessarily look at the person's name; they're going to be looking at the party name.
Yeah, but if he's
So-
the guy that's currently in place, like that's going to be marked next to a thing, and like they'll most people are dumb, right?
Don't get me wrong.
So-
I hope he gets in, but I hope he gets in. But I can see a lot of like people talking about in the States where people just click RRR or DDD.
Yeah.
I could see people in these ridings just clicking CCC because
I find though, I mean, I don't disagree with you because people are dumb, but I find it's more so on the left side of the spectrum are the people that actually look at what party people run for and go ABC, so anything but conservative, and whoever has the best chance of winning, I will vote for that.
so I would say
Whereas
it's
the
low
conservative people, not always, but generally are a little bit more considerate when they cast their vote.
You definitely have intelligent voters on both sides, but
Yeah, but
low
one is
information
more
voters.
strategic versus the other one voting in what they believe in, or at least in what the person running is saying. But yeah, I don't know. People are dumb.
Well, I hope we see more from Barber, and then I want to complain about Sun News because of their misleading headline that's in the same vein as this. Ontario MPPs urged to push for small business reopening plan. And there are actually no MPPs backing this. Not even Roman Barber is backing this. This is from the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. And they're trying to get MPPs on board with this now. This is like from the 3rd of February. So again, like a week old. So they're 2 weeks late to this party. They had a guy that was already pushing for this. They didn't back at the time. And now no one is getting on board with their plan because they want to reopen businesses at 20% of their regular capacity. That's their plan. That's what they're asking for.
That's what they announced today, Andrew.
No, that's what the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses is trying to find a single MP in the province of Ontario to back.
Oh,
That's why the MPPs are urged
because the
to
one
push
guy
for
that
it.
wanted to do this 2 weeks ago got kicked out of caucus.
Yeah, so CFIB is like a lobbyist group for businesses. It's pretty much like the only independent business lobby group.
Yeah.
They've done some good things over the years, but like in this thing, I don't think that 20% is enough. Like,
No, I don't really
go big or go
20%.
home.
It's like 20% doesn't like what, like 1 in 5 people, like in a
Yeah.
restaurant. Like it just, why even bother be opening? How you can't cover cost with 20% opening.
Yeah, the scale of it is probably not there.
I don't care
right?
what business you're running. 20% does not cover
you can't
bills.
convince them to turn a fryer back on with the amount of people you're walking in with.
Unless it's us in Brockville and we promise to order a shitload of wings.
That'll get your chicken wings to happen.
Yeah.
My point is that even with the shitload of people, they wouldn't let us in, so we couldn't convince them to do it.
Yeah, but
like,
oh yeah,
at 20%,
but you're not coming in.
like, are bubbles only a thing on in the Maritimes? Because like, if you have like 10 people and they're all in the same bubble, or they're all the same family, if you have a large family,
bubbles are. See, bubbling
10
here doesn't matter because even if you're the same family, so like, or it's not even family, but just like we all lived on a compound, not a commune. There's a difference. Compound. And we all, and we all went to a restaurant together. They still have a maximum capacity, and they still have a maximum capacity per table, even if we all live together.
Right. So
you get screwed by that nonsense, right?
So that's where I feel like the science really doesn't support the rules that they've imposed.
No, and
even the ones that people claim do make sense.
From the
This is
minute
just
one.
CFIB pandering to get money so that they can continue to get small businesses, because every small business that was paying in for their CFIB membership is now like, I don't know, $300 for these assholes. Tough sell.
Especially in like times like this where like they're probably reduced capacity and things need to get cut. Guess what's getting cut? Memberships to things that aren't really doing anything for them. I mean, these guys have been coming after me hard at work for the last year, and I've been considering it because there's some definite perks to being a member and all of that. But like, if all they're asking for is 20%, sorry,
Not gonna happen.
can I give you 20% of my dues?
Yeah.
And they can't find an an MPP in the province that's going to back them. And the only guy that would have, they were 2 weeks late to the party on.
He gone.
Well, like they couldn't have, they could have recovered from this. CFIB could have released it. They could have contacted Roman. They could have sent him a thing. They said, hey, we want to work with you. Will you be the voice of our thing in Parliament? Hey, we'll back you. We'll help you with a future political campaign. Like they totally could have made friends in the legislature to get this done.
Yeah.
Yeah, except that like going after an independent doesn't benefit them because he's going to have no pull.
Yeah.
So they're probably just like, forget that guy.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
everything is
machine at work, isn't it?
everything is political, despite what Ford is saying lately.
Ford.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like
So we
this.
talked about the RCMP.
That RCMP?
That RCMP?
That RCMP.
We really need to, you know what we need to do? Get a patch that says that RCMP and sell it and like do some fundraising for something.
Gotta have a picture of a cop dropping his gun.
Oh, shooting at another cop.
No, it's the FBI that drops it, but only during backflips at a nightclub. But
Oh, you know,
RCMP leaves it on the trunk of the car
gonna
and then
say-
drives off.
fall off the trunk of the car. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like an 870 on the trunk of a car, and it says that RCMP.
Yeah. We should have a count, like the amount of days the RCMP has not lost a firearm.
Well, before we poop all
Probably
over the
zero?
RCMP,
It's like days without incident.
because I agree. I mean, first of all, as we know, all cops are bastards, even the ones
Yeah.
that we like.
Yeah, especially the ones we like.
Yeah, more than likely. You know who you are. You know what you did.
Love you, buddy.
RCMP union questions firearms buyback. This is in the Ontario out
I
of
take it all
doors.
back. I take it all
Sorry, I
back.
love you guys. You guys are awesome.
I'm not bought so easily.
I'm not going to be
Guys.
swayed by.
Back to blue, guys. Back to blue.
Well, that's a different problem, but
They're probably
the
just-
RCMP is not down with the firearms ban that the Liberal government pulled.
Okay.
I guess I shouldn't say the RCMP, the union, the National Police Federation, the
Yeah.
union that
Murray
represents
Smith is
the
all about it.
20,000 frontline members of the RCMP.
Didn't we talk about this already?
Well, it made it into the Ontario Out of Doors magazine last week.
Okay.
And I finally got my copy to read, so I read it.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this already.
Andrew's an outdoorsman.
And Andrew was not impressed by it. He was like, "This means nothing."
Well,
I mean,
it does mean
nothing
nothing.
for us.
It does
It-
mean nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you
I
start
mean-
getting the Ontario Outdoor Magazine? When did that happen?
They show up once in a while. I don't really know why.
Yeah, it comes with the CSSA or something. I got one today too. I think it's CSSA or CCFR. I'm not exactly sure.
It's
I have
probably the
both those, and I
CSSA,
don't-
Yeah.
And I don't get those.
which
Do you have
explains
any
why
good
it's
ones?
like
At some
point I've got
several
them on
months
their
late.
list.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean,
they're talking about so the union is talking about the things that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
It's not law abiding licensed firearms owners. The homicides going up is predominantly in places like Toronto using smuggled firearms, not legal guns. And they're calling for a multi-prong approach to border security and stopping smuggling of firearms. That's
Who is?
Where was this
The
before
union is.
C71? Like the problem was then. Why couldn't we speak up before C71?
I don't know, and I don't really care because they're speaking up now. So better late than never.
Yeah, they're probably worried
guess.
that the buyback is going to cut into their budget.
Well, I mean, if I were the RCMP, I'd be worrying if I got issued level 4 plates or not, because somebody's got to round up
that
all the
too.
guns.
Maybe
And
these
what-
guys
and how
talk to
current those
people that
level
do
4
the
plates are.
FRT.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I wouldn't want to have to be the frontline officer in Podunk, Alberta that's got to go collect up some guy's 50 caliber rifle now because it's prohibited. Like, I would not want to be the guy in the funny looking hat having to do that job.
With a 1 kilometer walk up the drive.
Who issues
Right.
the RCMP?
Like, that's not
I see the cops coming, guys. They'll be here tomorrow.
well, I said Podunk, Alberta, not Saskatchewan, but close.
Yeah.
Who issues the RCMP their plates?
They usually buy from Pacific Safety Products.
Same
Like,
people that you can get,
get a
like,
guy
the
there in the
cool
shipping.
gray tack pants.
yeah, in any event, I feel like this is maybe the RCMP union realizing like maybe this is actually bad for our members, and I mean, this is totally in the self-interest of the frontline officers. I don't want cops having to come and confiscate my firearms or anybody else's firearms.
No, that's not going to
But
go good
also-
for anybody.
Well, I
Somebody's
would
going to have
also
to do
think
it.
that I'm sure a lot of the people in that union or whatever it is, they're probably all a lot of PAL holders, and they probably all have ARs and restricted guns, and they're like,
I would say there's
Sucks.
not that many police officers, and maybe the RCMP is an exception because a lot of them are more rural agencies. So you would get more hunters and sport shooters than you would in a service like, I don't know, Toronto or Peel. But I don't think a lot of cops have their firearms licenses.
Yeah,
Not to say some don't, but a lot don't.
I
These
imagine
guys-
it's the same because, like, I got a couple of buddies that are cops, and
yeah, but this
very
is the union,
few
isn't
of them. Yeah, but like, so it's the union speaking up saying that this is dumb, but the reason they're saying that this is dumb is probably because they don't want their officers going to confiscate things from people that are armed and angry.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a lot of those union guys, do you think they're all like ex-officers? Or are they like kind of just people with lawyer backgrounds that are in that industry that probably like guns too, and they're probably against the
Yeah,
ordinance?
but I mean, like I said, knowing the cops that I know, like, yes, there are a few of them that have their license, and even then, the ones that have their license, they don't all have their restricted license. Like, some of them like to go hunting, or some of them have it just so that they have it.
No.
But they're not actually, like, they're not shooters. They don't go and shoot competitively. They don't go and shoot for training wise outside of training. They just have their license to have it and maybe own a gun in the home, to have a gun in the home because they don't want to take their service pistol home, or they can't take it home, or whatever it is. They're predominantly, from my experience, not PAL holders, and certainly not restricted PAL holders.
Yeah, I
Not to
don't
say
think
there aren't some, but yeah,
I don't think there are any special.
I
special
agree with the
class.
RCMP union. This is silly, and the resources could be better spent on something to actually impact criminals.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
newsflash. We do not support the order in council.
Yeah, I mean,
I know,
if we're not going to
shocking, right?
disband them, at least
If
they
you guys
could do
didn't know
something.
that, we don't support it.
I don't.
I mean, I support its
Really.
use as toilet paper.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Do you guys want to do this last one? I was kind of interested in this a couple of weeks ago, and it's fallen out of the news the
Okay.
last 2 weeks.
I mean, that hasn't stopped us before, but
Yeah.
All right. GTA tow truck guard 19 was handed a legal gun before his shooting death, family says, in $2.45 million lawsuit. This is in the Red Star.
What?
Shockingly, it's not legal to just hand children, whether they have a security guard license or not, illegal, unregistered pistols and tell them to guard your property.
What the shit? Was he
Wait,
from
what?
like a?
So, have you guys seen this? There's like a
No,
tow
I have
truck
not
wars
heard
thing
about
going
this.
on in Toronto. So
Oh, that
there's
I've
like
heard
a
about, yeah.
feud of tow truck drivers, tow truck companies in the GTA.
Yeah, it's like
They're
30s
like-
mobster shit.
They're like mafia level, like going around and killing the competition. And this has apparently been going on for like a decade in Toronto.
A lot of stuff like that goes on there.
yeah. And just to go back quickly, because there's a couple of people asking in the chat about cops and PALs. No, there is no obligation for a police officer to hold a PAL or an RPAL.
That's
there's
Because
no-
they're
yeah.
cops, they're exempt from that particular requirement while they're on duty. But even then, some cops have the ability to carry off duty even without an RPAL.
Yeah, because it's a safety device for their job.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get a PAL. You don't have to get an RPAL. You don't have to follow safe storage. You get issued a firearm by the Crown or by your agency or what have you that you have to follow your agency protocols on. So you might get issued something like, say, a Glock 19, which would otherwise not be legal for the rest of us because the barrel is too short.
Yeah, they get the ones that
Yes.
are 104 millimeters.
Yes, there are the exception barrels, whatever. A regular Glock 19, factory Glock
Yeah.
19 with the 17 round magazine.
Yeah, 15 and a 19. But yeah,
15 round magazine.
15
Full
plus one in the
capacity.
chamber.
Yeah, full capacity. Well, I was trying to remember which Glock model because they're hard to remember because they're numbered, and the numbers don't really mean anything.
They don't make any
The
sense
numbers
at all.
have
Yeah.
nothing to do with anything. Yes.
It's like a Glock 22 does not.
Took me a
shoot
long time to
22
realize.
LR.
Yeah, and actually, armored car drivers, another comment, are required to have a license.
But
Is
that's
that
only
true in every
because
province? I know that's true in Ontario.
in Ontario, security guards are required to have their PAL license.
Yeah, so if you're going to carry as a security guard, at least in Ontario, you need to have your RPAL and you need an ATC. So you have to go take extra training and classes on top of that to carry, and your company will normally do that for you.
Right. So if you're a cop, the bottom line is you get issued a firearm for work because of your employment, because it's a safety device, and you don't have to follow the rest of the rules that the proletariat are obligated to follow, like magazine capacity, or whether or not it has a fun switch, or if it would be a prohibited rifle due to its length or other features, or any of the other things that we have to follow as licensed firearms holders.
Yeah.
Yeah, because nothing makes me happier than to see a cop show up to the range with his Glock 19 sitting on his passenger seat in his car.
Yeah.
Not that that's ever happened.
Burns your ass.
Yeah.
Burns your ass.
Yeah, just like, and the same with, like, unfortunately, a bunch of people in the military, they don't have their PAL or RPAL either because they don't need it when they're performing their duties.
Because the Queen issued you a machine gun. The Queen didn't ask to see your PAL.
Yeah. So if the Queen gives me a machine gun, do I need enough?
No, you have the Queen's blessing. You're good.
Yes.
All right.
We're going
When
to
we go to England?
Yeah, let's go to England.
Time to butter up an old lady.
Do they knight you
Phrasing?
with M16s as opposed to like?
No. What do they have? The LA. What's it called?
Yeah, that ugly
L85.
bullpup thing. Yeah.
L85.
I mean, if it's a machine gun, I'll take it. But if I got to pick, it would not be that.
I don't want to.
They got that pretty sweet 50 bullpup
one of those
50.
Anyways, unless you're a cop, you need a license to have a gun. So if you're a tow truck driver, you can't just hand that gun to people.
You shouldn't have a
Yeah,
pistol.
you shouldn't have. You certainly shouldn't be handed illegal guns, let alone legal ones.
You're not allowed to guard your house with a pistol in the first place.
No,
And,
and there are very specific exemptions and requirements for authorizations to carry for security guards, of which the poor 19-year-old in question who was
Tow truck drivers are not. Yeah.
killed in this incident, being a licensed security guard in the province of Ontario, was not authorized to carry a firearm in the performance of his services.
Yeah.
Definitely not the illegal, unregistered kind.
Yeah.
So the family is suing the tow truck company owner for the $2.5 million for negligence, because they shouldn't have given their family member an illegal firearm, and then he ended up getting into an altercation with, I think, another tow truck operator, another tow truck company, that resulted in his homicide.
Drove into
Yeah.
the yard just blasting.
What?
And,
Wait a second. I thought he it discharged or something, and then he died. Are you saying that they're
he was
blaming
like,
him?
It's like the OK
they
Corral
told
in the
this
fucking
kid to guard
tow
the
truck
tow
area.
truck yard, and somebody tried to break in and then ended up killing him. And apparently it was like a rival tow truck gang.
yeah. So somebody in the comments mentioned something about a lot of tow truck companies being affiliated with certain clubs.
Of course.
I can't confirm or deny that. I do know, however, that there are areas that you probably don't want to mess with the tow truck drivers because they have friends. Especially in the Quebec area where there's exclusive zones. So you can't just call up your buddy that's a tow truck driver and have him come out and help you. You can legally only use this tow truck driver. Not that there's any sort of racket involved with this at all.
No.
Public or private, Gavin? Public or private?
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I've come across a few yards where I was like, Am I in a prison yard or am I in a tow truck yard?
But yes, the
Face
whole
tats for everybody.
the whole tow truck thing is bizarre. Having had to navigate some of this stuff over the years and recently even, I can tell you that the whole thing is a scam and ridiculous, and that this flat fee, at least in my area for a tow, is $470 plus HST.
That's why you get CAA or whatever, because then you can just pay one flat fee for
There's a bit of a difference. So like if you're in any sort of an accident, you can't just call CAA to tow your car per se.
They'll take it off the road for you.
No, because if it's not drivable or you have like expired plates or something like that, they are not authorized to tow your vehicle. The same guy may also work for a towing company, and under that towing company, he's allowed. So this is like the whole thing is a scam.
Yeah.
Well, 100% it is.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And at least in my area, it is law that they must accept credit cards and cash and check as payment, but a lot of them will still tell you that they take cash only.
Yeah, there's not a lot of places that take cash right now, that's for sure.
Well, but they're saying cash only so that you know that there's a scam going on when people are like cash only.
Yeah.
There's no trail, especially when it's a business transaction.
I'll do it for
does
cash.
seem a little suspicious.
Yeah. Fun times. It's a scam.
Speaking of cash, Bullseye London, I'd appreciate it if you accept the cash.
They're not accepting cash?
No.
A little trouble buying a product there?
Yeah, and I called them today because I had something like on consignment. And I called them. I'm like, hey, I want to come pick something up tomorrow, and I have the cash money for it. And they wouldn't take it. I'm like, are you serious? I have the money for the product, and you're not going to take it. Even though I've been paying it off like in installments for a while, but whatever.
Just go deposit the cash into your bank, send them the EMT.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to do that for reasons.
I know.
An extra step.
Whatever.
I know. This world is all about extra steps, unless you're Dave, who's trying to get rid of the extra steps. At least in his reloading process.
I'm just saying, Bullseye. It'd be nice if you just manned up a little bit.
I mean,
well, nothing like calling them out to get a sponsorship.
yeah. Yeah.
That's okay. They probably weren't going to give me any free stuff anytime soon anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We just ruined it for Dave.
Sorry, Dave.
Remind everybody, we've got book club coming up in a couple of weeks. We're 2 weeks away from Ender's Game.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah, this month, last Monday of the month is book club. This month for February, we're doing Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. And if you're buying a copy on Amazon, you use our affiliate link. Just like if you're buying an official Big Luau shirt on Amazon, you use our affiliate link. Or if you buy anything else on Amazon, you go to bigluau.biz. And then anything you buy on Amazon after using our affiliate link, we get a little tiny little commission for that.
Smidge.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost you anything, though.
Then I buy a new microphone with the profit of that little tiny commission that they give us.
Or diapers.
Or diapers. Sometimes I buy diapers.
Yeah, but see we can't
Diapers
say that
are the
because that's got some people butthurt in the past. So yeah, we might buy Andrew, or at least Andrew's son.
Come on, I have a new microphone. I think it sounds better. It works well.
But then Andrew uses that diaper money on paying for hosting.
Well, it'd be good to have a microphone if you're a self-proclaimed radio expert.
I've never been proclaimed as a radio expert. I talked on the radio before, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am barely going to pass this
firearm expert.
I am a firearms expert. That is
He's actually got trophies and stuff though, so like it's not really self-proclaimed.
Yeah, and I've petitioned the court to be accepted as an expert.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if that gets accepted, which I'm sure it has been because the thing's proceeding, you're technically a SME.
Yeah, I mean, I was a subject matter expert before, which is why I petitioned the court to recognize me as an expert in a proceeding. But that's
Yeah,
neither
it's
here
official,
nor
though.
there.
It's government approves me.
I haven't done it yet, so I don't know if it's actually official. I feel like I actually have to be accepted.
You wrote some shit. You signed your name. They've taken the case on. So like
I
it's
had to
done.
have
was
my name
recorded.
like stamped and notarized and stuff. It was very official
That
feeling.
is, yeah, that's good enough.
Well, all
Definitely
joking
also
aside,
did
Andrew,
part of that in a Tim Hortons parking lot.
you know you're my favorite expert witness. You know that.
We did that in a Tim Hortons parking lot on the way back from a gun course. So totally official and legit.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah. While wearing Hawaiian shirts. It was good times. The official
Yeah, but so was the
Hawaiian shirt.
lawyer. So
Yeah.
we're on Discord. I think I broke Discord. I don't know if I got the link right last week or not. I'll put another link in the show notes this
Wait,
week.
we have a Discord?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we do.
Other Andrew
someone-
set up a Discord.
Yes, we do.
Well, now I have to get a new account because they booted me off of that too.
How did you get booted off
Seriously?
Discord? Like literally anything goes there.
Uh,
Used to.
Were you on the Stanks app? I mean,
The
discussion group?
Stanks? What's
no,
the
I
Stanks
got,
app?
I got,
wanna hear
I
about
got,
this.
I was not involved with anything to do with stonks. I got booted off like
Stonks.
months ago. I got booted off of Discord before I got booted off of
Stinks.
Facebook. They were the first social media thing to boot me off, but I guess I'll.
It's like
I'll
not even
join
social media. It's so crazy.
Well,
Yeah, I'm really at a loss how you got booted off of Discord. But
Yeah.
I also only just learned how to use Discord, so
apparently I was too cool for school.
also I can't figure out how to check the link in Discord right now, so I will figure that out later and put it in the show notes. I may have used an expiring link last week, but I don't
Here,
know because I don't
I got
really
one from
understand what I'm
Andrew, so
doing.
maybe this one will work.
Yeah, just you want to send that to me, Dave, and I'll get on that. 'Cause,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if it's our listeners, I'll do almost anything for our listeners.
I know, I've seen the tattoo.
Yeah,
Almost.
they gave us money though, a bunch of money.
It's true.
Seriously though, that RCMP patches, we should do that.
Yeah,
We
I
know
have
some
an idea
guys.
we're going to talk about in a minute when we're off air.
The link still works. I just tried it.
Great. I did not use a disappearing link. That's even better. Is this the right link? I hope this is the right link.
Yeah.
I just put it in the chat.
That's a different.
That's a different link.
The
We're not
one.
shooting this on the air. Let's find out where everybody can find you, Gavin. If people want to find you, where should they go?
Well, I guess apparently you'll be able to find me shortly on the Discord, probably under the same name as you can find me on the Instagram, UrbexGTA, all one word.
All right. Dave, where can everybody find you?
Find me on the IGs at Diesel6223, and I'm also on Discord. Just cut off the 3. It's Diesel622 on there with an underscore.
Oh, jeez. Just go on the
Find me.
Discord and find Dave from the list of people in the server or whatever it's called in the chat.
It's true.
Yeah.
Feel like
You'll
I'm
find
like
me.
a boomer of technology. How do I set the timer on my Discord?
Hello?
Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Anybody? Anybody?
You guys are really gonna make me like learn. how to use another-
Anybody? Yes,
Brian,
we
where
can
can
hear
we
you,
find you?
Karen.
I can't hear you.
You guys can find me at CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com.
All right, Benny, where can everybody find you?
Painloose.ca. We restocked our cam loaders and we have some Wesson knives in stock. So
Decent.
Wesson or Smith and Wesson?
Wesson, WESN.
Yeah, Smith
was
told them
not
to get
involved in
lost.
the
Yeah.
making of this knife. You got butthurt about the situation.
Oh, can somebody put the appropriate Discord link in the live chat before we turn the show off? People apparently want to get on it, and I can't figure out how.
I'll do it.
I got it right here. Bam.
Okay, whatever one goes in YouTube live chat is the one we're using.
Should work.
Yeah. Don't forget to send your $100 initiation fee through EMT to feedback.
I
Use
have one
code
thing to remind people
BED10
about.
to get 10% off.
Some new people just joined in. It must be working.
I have one thing to remind people about. We have an upcoming course with Ragnarok Tactical. Gavin and I are going to be teaching land navigation, map and compass skills. A bunch of
We'll
other
also
people are
be
going to come
there.
hang out. Dave's going to be there. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure Brian's going to come hang out. I think Benny's going to be there for part of it.
Yeah, I'm popping in.
So come hang out, do some land nav stuff. February 21st.
Which way is it?
In and around the Greater Toronto area in a way that will definitely not violate any laws,
Yeah. Nope. Not at all.
guidelines, procedures, COVID regulations, etc. Because we don't want to get a visit from the COVID police.
We're all going to be 6 feet apart anyway.
And wearing 3 masks.
I'm wearing 4.
Well, and we might do part of it on Zoom to keep people away. But in any event, go on to the website, go on to ragnaroktactical.ca, get signed up. There are still some spaces left. It is limited enrollment, but there's still spots, and it is a 2.5 day course. And you don't need anything, just outdoor clothes for the outdoor portion. We'll figure out
bring
the
your own
rest.
compass, preferably, but there will be spares.
Yeah. If you have a compass, you should bring your compass.
And we will
If you don't
disinfect
have a
it.
compass, we'll sort you out.
We got lots of stuff. I'm bringing all my kit. Gavin's bringing a bunch of extra kit. We got lots of kit.
If
So
you
much
get
kit.
lost on the way to the land nav course, I'm going to have to refer you to your Apple contract with Siri.
Yeah.
I think if you get lost on the way there, you automatic fail.
Maybe you're not a golfer and you should try another sport.
Yeah.
I have to apologize to Rod. Rod didn't want to travel all the way from BC to do the land nav course, so we didn't want him on the show
Rod.
tonight. Well, BC is very beautiful. He did not want to leave.
Whatever. You can figure it out.
For all of our listeners out there in podcast land, I'd like to remind you that you are the true north. Strong
Strong
and free.
and free. Arr.